Thank you, Judge.
You be wherever you want to be. Unless, can y'all hear her okay? Okay.
Mr. Sledge, having looked at State's Exhibit 444 Yankee, the document that we referred to prior to lunch, is your memory clear on whether or not it says that you were at the McDonald's on Cleveland Avenue in section 7 of part 4 of this document?
You said it say I was at the McDonald's?
No. My question is showing you State's 444 Yankee.
Right.
Is that the document that you signed?
I don't remember when I signed.
Hold on.
I see my initial, but
Okay.
I don't.
Do you also see your signature?
I said I see my signature.
Okay. With the date?
Yes.
All right. Of December 28th, 2022?
Yes.
Okay. Now, on this document that you are looking at, can you read to yourself number 7?
Yes. I read it already.
Okay. Having read that document, are you able to tell the jury if the document that you put your signature on December 28th, 2022, said that you met at the McDonald's or something different?
It says something different.
Okay. And was that something different language that you asked the state to correct? In other words, does the document...
I don't, by me signing it say no, but I don't recall if I asked you to change it. I was asking you so much to change that never got changed, so I don't recall which ones I asked you to change.
All right. Since you said you were asking me so much to change that never got changed.
Overruled.
Are you able to tell the jury what all you asked to be changed that did not get changed?
I just told you I don't remember. The Lord, that been almost 2 years ago. I don't remember.
Okay.
Not that part. Not by signing.
Would looking at 444Y refresh your memory at all?
Yeah, you showing it to me, and I told you my signature on it. You showing me that, and I'm telling you that it's saying my signature on it, but I signed. I ain't saying I didn't sign. I'm not arguing with you or debating with you about that. I'm not saying I didn't sign. I just didn't remember what I was signing. I just was signing.
Thank you for that. My question is, are you able at all to remember what things you recall asking the state to change that it did not change?
No.
Objection asked and answered.
Well, can you rephrase that question? Because you've asked him the totality of it. Are you trying to ask him, is there anything that he remembers?
Yes.
Okay, try that.
Yes. All right, thank you. Asking it in a better way. Is there anything you remember asking us to change that we just refused to change?
I can't remember exactly, but if you show me the paper, I probably can point out the ones that I wanted you to change that didn't get changed.
I'm going to show you states 444, and if you would not read anything, just tell me numbers.
I'm just pointing to you.
Okay. Go ahead.
Is this 444Y?
Yes, it is, Judge.
One second. I know this one.
Your Honor,
Yes.
for the purposes of the record, I would just, I believe Mr. Sledge just identified one. If he could just say the numbers so we can follow, because we're not looking at the sheet along with him when he
Sure.
points.
Number 8, number 8, number 9, I don't know if number 7 or not, because I don't remember.
I'm sorry, what did you say about number 9?
I meant said number 7. I don't know. I know number 9 is one I asked you to change.
Did you say I don't know about number 7?
Yeah, I don't really remember about number 7, but I know what it's saying isn't true.
Number 7, you're saying is not true.
Yeah, I didn't hear that from that part. I heard it in the streets, not from a member. Do you understand what I'm saying now?
I hear your testimony, yes. Are those the only 2?
That's 3. Well, I said 7, I didn't really know, but 8 and 9, I most definitely remember asking you to change, and they never got changed.
Anything else?
No, not that I know of.
Now, when you say that you asked me to change 8 and 9, how did you make that request? Did you personally talk to me, or did you ask someone to tell me?
I was telling my lawyer those were not correct.
And he came back and, at your request, he asked the state, that's your understanding, to change those?
I don't know personally what went on between y'all. Wasn't there. I was in the back. Y'all was in the courtroom.
Now, at any time were you forced to put your initials on anything on this document that's labeled 444Y?
I was actually told you can initial, but you can get if you be called in, you can explain the truth of what you know and what you don't know.
Is it your test? So are you now testifying that your initials are placed beside numbers relating to statements that are false? Is that what your testimony is?
Yeah, cause I don't know that. That's why I'm saying it's false. There's no way that I can know that if I wasn't there or no one who you have charged told me. I was personally charged with that same thing you talking about. From the beginning, before any of these guys, except Shannon Stillwell, any one of the other guys, before they was charged with it, I never heard of that until May 9th when you put it on your indictment.
Okay. I'm going to show you that same document, 444Y. and ask you to look at section 5 of the document. And looking at it, is there a marking on the document? Does it refresh your memory as to whether you personally marked anything out on the document?
I see my initial by whatever it is.
Does it refresh your memory as to whether you scratched anything out and changed it?
I think y'all told me to scratch that. I didn't change it. You wrote that. I didn't
Okay.
write that. That's not my writing. That's my
Is
initial.
that your initial? Okay.
Yes.
Is the change that you referred to on section 5 of page 6, is that the only thing that you recall being changed at your request?
No.
What else do you recall being changed at your request?
Well, now, yes. I'm sorry. Y'all can scratch. No. Yes. I don't remember nothing else you changed at my request.
Would showing you any other documents refresh your memory?
No.
Okay. So, number 3 on 444Y, which we were discussing before lunch. Can you explain to the jury how your participation in a drive-by shooting was intended to express support and loyalty for YSL?
I'm sorry, I didn't.
I mean, it has sort of been asked and answered in that he, sustained.
Tell us what happened in the drive-by shooting.
What you mean? Go into details what happened?
Yes, sir.
Well, I never, like, at the club, Garlington got jumped on, which,
Keon Garlington?
the Michigan Garlington, which didn't have anything to do with anyone else besides me and Garlington.
How do you know?
Huh? How did
do
I
you
know
know?
they had nothing to do with no one else?
Yes, and yes.
Because no one else was in the club with us, got their hands put on them.
So, who was it that put hands on Garlington?
I don't know. It was a group of guys. I didn't see no faces, none of that.
So, how are you able to tell the jury that it had nothing to do with anyone except you and Garlington when you can't say who put their hands on you?
Well, I can say what Garlington told me, but I can't tell you, do I know it's personally was those guys? Because there was a lot of them, but I can tell you what Garlington told me.
Were those guys part of a gang?
Your Honor, calls for hearsay.
Well, I mean, it may or may not, to your personal knowledge.
Was
Did
they-
you believe that those guys who put their hands on Garlington were a part of a gang? I asked him,
Sustained. Rephrase your question.
to your knowledge, were the persons who put their hands on you, or on Garlington rather, excuse me, a part of a gang?
I don't know, because if they joined the game, I wasn't there when they joined the game.
If they joined a what now?
If they was part of a game,
When you're saying game, are you saying, spell what you're saying?
Gang. You
Okay.
said game.
I did, thank you.
So if they was part of a game, whenever they joined, I didn't eyewitness. So I don't know if they was or was they false claiming or what. I don't know.
Okay. So forgive me for interrupting. Please tell the jury what led up to the drive-by shooting. What happened?
Well, they jumped on Gunnington in the club. I assisted Gunnington, and then it went farther with us fighting. And then I don't know what happened on the outside. I don't know what happened on the outside, but then me, Gunnington, and Zachary, we went and we did what we did.
Okay. Were you standing next to Garlington when he first got jumped?
No, he was coming back towards me.
And you said you didn't see the face of who jumped him.
I never really seen it. Somebody told me that they was jumping on Garnington.
Who
And
told you?
people in the club. I can't give you a name because I don't know their name.
So what did you do?
I assist Garnington.
How did you assist Garlington?
I helped get him off Garnington.
As you were helping getting them off of him, did you recognize anybody that you were helping to get off of
It
him?
was abroad. No. There was so many people.
Okay. You said earlier that you didn't know whether these people were actually a part of a gang or if they were false claiming.
Right.
Do you know what gang they claimed to be a part of, if any?
Maybe ask another foundational question first.
Are you aware of whether these people that you pulled off of Garlington claimed to be a member of any particular gang?
You said, did they claim to be part of a gang?
Correct.
Overruled.
Actually, I can't really say what gang they claim.
Without saying what gang, at the time that you pulled these guys off of Garlington, did you believe that they belonged to any particular gang?
Overruled.
No.
Are you familiar with a person by the name of Kelvin Watts, who answers to the names Kel and Shell Kel?
I know of him, but I don't know him. He wasn't there though that night. I know that much.
Does Shell Kel, to your knowledge, belong to a particular gang?
Well, I heard that he was part of a gang.
Are you aware of whether he claims to be a part of that gang via his postings or anything else?
Yeah, a lot of people claim to be some they ain't.
Fair enough. What gang do you understand Shell Kel to be a part of?
What he claimed, 9 Deuce or something like that?
9 Deuce?
Yes.
Is that also If Gang or Inglewood Family?
From my understanding.
That's a yes?
Yes, from my understanding.
Okay.
I don't.
And is that gang, to your understanding, a blood gang? If he knows, Your Honor, I'm asking to his understanding, does he understand that gang to be a blood set?
Overruled.
Yes,
You
I
may-
heard, but I don't know for sure. I heard.
Did you consider that gang a rival gang?
Please use your mic. Okay, sorry.
A
Did-
rival game? No.
Did you state on December 28th, 2022, that you threatened to harm a person named Kel because of that person's association with a rival gang?
Yeah, but at the time I didn't know. At the time that the threat was made, I didn't know he was If gang.
When did you learn he was If gang?
Ooh. I know it was after that video.
Okay.
Now we're talking about a video. What video are you referring to?
The video of me and Quindarius. But it wasn't about no gang situation.
What did you do in the video?
I told him if he was looking for me, I had something for someone who was looking for me, who was not my friend.
And forgive me, you told him that if he was looking for you, what was that last part?
I had anything for anybody who's looking for me that's not my friend. He have no reason looking for me if he's not my friend.
Okay. And what did you have for him?
Whatever to do to protect myself.
Who else was in the video with you?
Quindarius Zachary.
Is he the only person?
That's the only person I remember.
I'm going to show you what we have marked as State's Exhibit 441Y, which has also been provided to counsel for the defendants with the court's permission. May I approach?
You may.
Are you able to see
That's
the
man
video
Zachary.
on the screen?
Yeah.
Okay. And when do you recall that video being made?
I can't recall. I just know it was in. I can't recall. I know it was in. I think it was in 2015 or 2014. I don't recall.
What did you do with that video once it was made?
They posted on social media.
Who is they?
I want to say Zachary posted. Or did I post it? I don't recall who posted, but
It was either you or Zachary.
yeah.
What are you saying in the video?
I just told you what I said.
Is State's Exhibit 441 Yankee, is that a fair and accurate depiction of the video that you?
The video you just showed me?
Yes.
Yes.
Your Honor, the state tenders 441 Yankee as evidence.
Admitted.
And with the court's permission, while we are pulling that up, I'll go ahead and ask you additional questions.
That's fine.
Thanks. Do you have anything? Do you have anything in your hands in the video?
Yes,
What?
a gun.
And does Zachary have anything in his hands in the video?
Got 2 guns in his hand.
What was the purpose of posting that video on social media?
We were really being silly, man.
Okay. And when you say you're being silly, what do you mean?
It was childish.
Okay. Did you intend for people to see it?
They posted on Instagram, so of course people were gonna see it.
Understood.
We posted it for him to see it.
Okay. Would you please continue? Hang on one second. If it's ready to play, we can play it. And we are now publishing State's Exhibit 441 Yankee after we hide the floating toolbar.
You little strip ass nigga. We ain't really going back and forth no nigga. You little bitch ass nigga. I know where we hit. I'm everywhere. Yeah, fuck you nigga, Cal. Whoever else, nigga. Well, nigga. Pop, nigga. Whoa. They said I ain't really going back.
Is that the video you're referring to?
Yes.
All right. Now, would you continue telling the jury what led to the drive-by shooting following Demekion Garlington getting jumped on at the club?
What led to it?
Yes, continue telling us what happened.
We left the club and we went over. Well, no, we didn't leave the club. I left the club and then Garlington called me to come back to get him because I left him at the club.
Did Garlington ride with you to the club?
No,
Do you know who Garlington went to the club with?
no, he was calling me all that day to ride me to the club, and I don't like people to ride to the club. Now I go to the club by myself. I might meet them there, but I always ride by myself.
Who all participated in the fight when Garlington got jumped?
Just me and Garlington. No one else was in the club with us.
All right. And so after, how did the fight end?
Security guard broke it up.
After the security guard broke it up, what did you do?
I stayed in the club. They put Garlington out the club.
And then what happened?
I was in the inside looking for Garlington's phone with security guard, and I guess security guard found the phone and he took it outside. And then eventually I got the females that I was with and we went outside.
And then what happened?
I pulled off. Garlington was talking, saying something, and I got in my car and pulled off. And by the time I got to the spreadway, Garlington called me back to come pick him up because he didn't have a ride.
What club were you all at?
Club Crucial.
And what day of the week was that?
It wasn't a Monday, so it had to be like a Saturday, something like that, if I am mistaken.
What did Garlington call you back for? Just to get a ride?
Yeah, at first just to get a ride, yes.
What then did it later turn into?
It later turned into a shoe.
Tell the jury how that happened.
I guess Garlington didn't want to let it go, and I was riding with Garlington. Which I probably wouldn't have let it go neither, because another grown man ain't got no business putting his hand on no grown man.
So fill in the blanks and tell us from the time that you went to pick up Garlington, what happened that led you to participate in a drive-by shooting?
Mm. I don't remember. I can't remember all the details that happened that night, but I just know it was a drive-by shoot. Well, it wasn't a drive-by shoot.
What
It
was
was
it?
a shooting. Cause I didn't see nobody shoot. If that makes sense.
Please explain.
I never seen them shoot. Cause I dropped them off and I kept going.
And then what happened?
I guess they did the shooting.
Did you drop them off at any one particular spot?
I don't know the name of the street.
Understood, but did you drop them off at any one particular spot?
I don't remember.
Did you take them to more than one spot?
Could you refresh my memory if you can?
Let me try this another way. Were you asked to take Demekion Garlington or anyone else in the car with you to more than one spot?
No, I remember taking Zachary, to his cousin's house somewhere.
So what happened at the spot that you said you dropped them off at?
I don't really remember, Ms. Love, but I know I pleaded guilty to it. I don't remember, but I know I pleaded guilty to it. I don't remember all the details, but I pleaded guilty to it.
Mr. Sledge, is a drive-by shooting or shooting something that stands out in your mind, or is it something that's just commonplace for you?
Could you repeat it?
Is a drive-by shooting something that stands out in your mind, or is it something that is just commonplace for you?
Could you break it down? Because I don't understand what you're saying. You saying, is it in my mind or is it just something I do?
Is it something that is worthy of remembering for you? A drive-by shooting?
No.
It's not something that's worthy of remembering?
No.
Okay. So it's not a big deal for you?
Not for me.
Was more than one house shot up after Demekion was jumped at the club?
Probably I wasn't there. I probably was, I'm saying, but I didn't take him to more than one place.
Do you recall going to Adele Drive?
Where is that located?
Off of Martin Luther King in... I'll rephrase. Do you recall going to a location on Drew Drive?
No, they lied.
Night.
No, I don't recall going to drive, but I know it was all in my plea agreement. I just thought it was best in my interest, so I pleaded guilty to it.
Okay. Did you ever talk about that shooting with Quindarius Zachary or Demekion Garlington?
What you mean, that night?
At any time?
No, we didn't really talk about it.
Okay. When I asked you whether you threatened to harm Kelvin Watts because he was affiliated with a rival gang, did you say, at the time you made the threat, you did not know he was if gang. Did you say that?
Yes.
Why did you make an assertion about if gang when I asked you about a rival gang?
Because it ain't, Miss Love, it ain't like I don't know what y'all trying to put together. I know what you saying and I know what the state's saying, but that don't mean it got to be true.
Mr. Sledge, do you understand that I'm just asking you questions so that you can speak to the jury?
And I answered to the jury like,
You didn't answer the question. My only question to you was, why is it that when I asked you whether you threatened to harm Shell Kell because he was affiliated with a rival gang, you responded, at the time I made the threat, I didn't know he was if gang.
I said I didn't know he was 9 Deuce.
Object. That's a misstatement of the
All right.
evidence.
Sustained. The witness corrected it.
Thank you. Why did you say that at the time you made the threat, you didn't know he was a member of that gang?
Because the state, this is what the state painted a picture that YSL, I'm answering the question if you're going to let me answer. The way I know the answer. If you're not going to let me answer,
ahead,
then.
Mr. Sledge. Go ahead.
Because the state is painting a picture that YSL and 9 Do is the rival gang. So I know you saying it don't take a rocket science to figure that out.
Has anyone instructed you to come in here and talk about what picture the state is trying to paint?
No,
Has anyone instructed you just to be honest?
I'm being honest. You might think I'm not, but I'm telling you I'm being honest.
Okay.
I'm being honest as I can.
So irrespective of the picture that the state, in your opinion, is trying to paint, why did you bring up the name of that particular gang when I asked you about a rival gang?
It's also
No, it hasn't overruled.
It's also a misstatement, Your Honor. Miss Love brought up if gang.
Right.
Correct. Go ahead, Ms. Lowe.
All right. How did Quindarius Zachary get in the picture
What you mean?
as it relates to this drive-by shooting on April the 28th? How did Quindarius Zachary get in the picture?
I don't know if Gunnington called him. I think Gunnington called him and told him he had got jumped on before I even made it back to Gunnington.
And so how did Quindarius Zachary get with you all?
What you mean? We went and got him.
Okay. So after you picked up Garlington from Crucial, you all then drove somewhere else and picked up Zachary?
Right.
Where did you all pick him up from?
I don't remember.
Who was it that told you which house or houses to go to?
I don't know who told Gunnington.
No, who told you you were driving, right?
Yeah,
Wait.
Gunnington told me how to get there.
Okay.
Lord, they already have told you all this stuff. Well, you're right. You got to tell it to the jury. I'm sorry.
And you understand, I can't tell the jury. You
Right.
have to.
You're right.
Would you please tell the jury whether at the time you took Garlington to that house, you knew or believed that it was the home of a rival gang member?
Yeah, that's what I believe.
Okay. Did you see the guns did anyone have guns in the car at the time that you took Garlington to that house of the rival gang member?
We had guns. We roll with guns every day. Not one day, every day.
When you say we, who are you talking about?
Me, Gunnington, and Zachary then.
Okay.
Whenever we was together.
At the time that you were together, Were Garlington and Zachary also members of YSL? Apologies.
Well, everybody probably assumed they was YSL, but I can't. Well, I heard them say YSL, put it like that. So I can't really actually say.
Was it your understanding at the time that you took them to that home of the rival gang member that both Garlington and Zachary were YSL?
I believe so, yeah.
How did Nine Deuce become a rival gang?
I have no idea.
Who was it a rival to?
You said, the state say YSL.
You're the only one that can give
Why?
testimony. So who was it a rival to with your understanding?
Well, from my understanding, it wasn't a rival with everyone who claimed YSL. There probably was certain people, not everyone.
So who was it a rival to? Who was this gang a rival to?
Me, Garlington, and Zachary at the time.
Okay. No one else.
Not that I know of.
Did you say on December 28th, 2022, that you and your fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL?
Again, that was some you stated and some I initiated. I most definitely initiated that.
Earlier, did I give, go ahead.
Because none of the stuff on the paper, I never approved none of it. I signed, but if you would have came to me and asked me that before, I would have told you it wasn't true.
Earlier, when we were talking about changes that you asked to be made, do you remember having an opportunity to look at the document that is labeled 444 Yankee?
To be honest with you, I didn't look at the whole document.
Okay. So if I give it back to you, will you look at each of the factual acknowledgments contained on the document?
I already told you, Ms. Love, I initiated on it.
That's not what I'm asking.
Yeah, I can
Do
look
you
at
need
it.
an opportunity to look back
I
at
can
it?
look back on it.
When you've had a chance to read each of them, would you just look up? Could you read each of the items under that section, please?
You just read them, Ms. Love. I am.
Do you not want to read them?
No, I don't want to read.
Why don't you want to read them?
Because I don't want to read. I just answer to you.
Okay.
I don't want to read.
Having had the opportunity to look at the factual acknowledgments, what other factual acknowledgments besides the one you listed as 8 and 9 are you now saying aren't true?
Your Honor,
Yes.
that is a misstatement of the evidence. He said that 7 is not true as well.
Yep. Sustained.
I'll rephrase. Earlier, did I ask you to identify which portions of the factual acknowledgement that you asked the state to change?
And I told you 8, 9, and I couldn't remember if I asked you to change 7, but I know 7 is false.
Okay.
That's what I told you.
If you understood that you could ask me to change 8 and 9, would you explain why you did not ask me to change any other ones?
I can't say, my Lord.
Did the state force you to sign this document?
I was forced. I feel like I was forced myself.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
I feel like I was forced myself because I was going through something.
Explain what you're saying.
I was going through something with my mother being sick. I needed to get home to my mother. And if I went to trial, I couldn't afford Mr. Wright to go to trial.
Could you afford to ask Mr. Wright to make any further corrections to the document?
That Pacific day, Ms. Love, I was just trying to get home to my sick mother.
Did you swear under oath that each of these statements that you initialed were true?
Maybe, I don't even remember. I can't say. If that what it say, yeah.
Did you lie under oath?
No, I didn't lie.
Well, explain to the jury how they should reconcile those two statements.
I really can't explain it to you, Ms. Love.
Did you sign a statement? Did you make a statement
I didn't
that
know.
you
Go ahead.
that you have read and carefully reviewed the agreement that you were entering with the state, that you have reviewed and corrected where necessary for accuracy each statement contained in defendant's factual acknowledgments, and that you acknowledge the truth and accuracy of each and every statement listed therein, that you fully understand the agreement and have had an opportunity to discuss this agreement and each of its provisions with your attorney, Mr. Derek Wright. No promises other than those contained in the agreement have been made to you in furtherance of the agreement, and you freely, knowingly, and voluntarily enter into the agreement without force, threat, or coercion. Did you make that statement on December 28, 2022?
I think so.
Was that statement true or false at the time that you made it?
I don't know, Ms. Love.
Why do you say you don't know?
I really don't. I just told you my intention was.
I understand. And my condolences for what you had to go through. But the jury needs to know whether that statement that you made was true or false. Would you please tell them?
I guess it was true if I made it, Ms. Love.
Why did you pause so long before answering?
I don't know.
Now, you were talking about having pled guilty to charges related to the drive-by shooting or to the shooting on April 28, 2015.
I pleaded guilty.
Excuse me, Judge. At this time, can we get the instruction, please? That's the first question directly from the state.
Yes. Ms. Levis.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, you are about to hear evidence that a co-defendant in this case has pled guilty to some of the charges in this indictment. I caution you that this co-defendant's guilty plea conviction itself is only admitted for a limited purpose. That guilty plea is an admission by this witness only that he committed the criminal acts to which he pled. You are not to consider the co-defendant witness's guilty plea as evidence that any other defendant is guilty of committing any of the criminal acts alleged against them in this indictment. Each defendant is entitled to have the issue of his guilt determined solely on the basis of the evidence against him and not on whether another person has been convicted of the same charges with which the defendant is accused. If you find that the co-defendant witness provided testimony on the stand that is inconsistent with his guilty plea admissions, you may consider the witness's prior inconsistent statement, that is, his guilty plea admissions, including to the allegations in the charges to which he pled guilty, as substantive evidence, which you may consider against any defendant currently on trial for whatever bearing it may have on the issues on trial.
Thank you, Your Honor. So, Mr. Sledge, you mentioned pleading guilty to charges related to the April the 28th, 2015 shootings that you were just talking to the jury about. Do you recall that?
Yes.
All right. And when you pled guilty, did you do so in 2022 or did you do so in 2015 or 2017?
Obviously, I pleaded guilty 2017.
17. Thank you for that. So, at the time that you pled guilty in 2017 to the charges related to the April 28th, 2015 shooting after Demekion Garlington was jumped, was there a factual basis given for that plea? Do you understand the question?
No, what you mean?
Okay.
I don't.
First, let me ask you, when you pled guilty in 2017, did you have an attorney?
Yes.
And is the attorney that you had then the same one that you have now?
Right.
And did you trust him then the way that you trust him now?
Right.
And at the time you pled guilty, did the prosecutor tell the court that the evidence would show that on April 28, 2015, Mr. Garlington and Mr. Sledge were at a club called Club Crucial on Donnelly Hollowell Parkway earlier in the evening when members of, and preface this by saying Mr. Garlington, Mr. Sledge, and Mr. Zachary at this time were members of a gang called YSL, or Young Slime Life, that at some point had been affiliated with the Blood Criminal Street Gang. There had been a falling out carrying from the fall of 2014 into 2015. This, for lack of a better term, gang war was going on at this time. Mr. Garlington was jumped at the club by members of a rival gang, Aaron Mills, Dominic Carter, and others that are members of a gang which is a subset of If Gang, or Inglewood Family Bloods, which is a gang that the dispute was going on with at that time, when Mr. Garlington was jumped and assaulted at the club. A decision was made by Mr. Sledge. They called Mr. Zachary, the co-defendant, to retaliate in some way. The evidence will show that Mr. Sledge drove the vehicle. Mr. Garlington and Mr. Zachary were inside with weapons, and they first drove by Adele Avenue, 1428 Adele Avenue in Atlanta, Georgia. And that location at the time is the home of Darren Mills and his mother, and at least one of his sisters and one of his cousins, and is an address that Darren Mills actually used and stayed at. He was one of the individuals that had assaulted Mr. Garlington earlier at the club. Mr. Sledge drove by and they shot at the house. There were not individuals outside of the house, but the house was shot. During the shooting of that house, Miss Denise Bell, who is the aunt of Darren Mills, while she was in her bed, sustained a gunshot to her buttocks and had to go to the hospital and had to have surgery. She was shot. The house was shot up, and there were other individuals there at the time, including Cecilia Davis and Diamond Mills. Diamond Mills being Darren Mills' sister. Also, the car belonged to Cecilia Davis, which was in front of the house and received damage. The evidence is that Mr. Sledge was the driver of the car. After that, Mr. Sledge drove over to 1903 Drew Drive, Northwest, an apartment there was at the time being used by Philip Collins, who is Darren Mills' brother, and also present at the club and participated in the assault. In shooting at what they believed to be Philip Collins' apartment, they damaged apartments 1122 and 1120. Natasha Battle's apartment, which was 1120, her patio doors, windows, and couch were damaged from the gunfire. Ms. Troutman's apartment was 1122, and that was the other apartment that was damaged. Through investigations, detectives got a lead that Mr. Garlington and Mr. Zachary were involved, and they conducted interviews.
Yes, sir.
I can pause there.
Okay.
Was that factual basis? Were those words read to the court by the prosecutor at the time you entered a guilty plea in 2017?
I don't remember, was it read by the prosecutor, because I took a blind plea. And I think the judge read off the evidence. I don't recall what it was, though.
Okay. Do you recall hearing those words read by somebody in court as the reason or the factual basis for the charges that were being brought?
If I could explain, I pleaded guilty because I felt like it was in my best interest. You had two co-defendants. Some of what they said was true, and some they said wasn't true. But I did plead guilty because I felt like it was in my best interest.
Were you given an opportunity to say anything at the time that you entered that plea? Were you given an opportunity to make any statements?
No, not that I remember.
Do you recall the judge, after those statements were read, asking you, is there anything you'd like to say before sentencing? Do you recall that happening?
Yes, I recall him asking me that.
Do you recall telling the judge, no, sir?
I remember telling him, thank him for the plea that he allowed. I remember that. I remember me telling him, thank him for the plea that he accepted on the non-negotiable plea, the blind plea or whatever it was.
Would you explain to the jury what your understanding of a blind plea is?
A blind plea, that I understood, that you leave the evidence up to the judge and the judge determine on the sentence.
At any time, did you tell the judge, I'm not admitting this, I'm just doing this because it's in my best interest?
Well, I didn't tell the judge that. I told my attorney that. When my attorney asked me, like, when he came to me with the plea deal, and I told him, I said, why I take the plea? Because it's best in my interest. You got two guys against one.
hold on, hold on. At the time that you
No, I didn't tell it to the judge.
that wasn't the question.
Oh.
At the time that you pled guilty, did you know what sentence the judge was going to give to you?
No.
Okay.
Not like no, I just knew it was a,
Did the judge, was it explained to you that you could receive up to the maximum sentence on each charge?
not if I understand. I think a deal was already worked out, if I ain't mistaken. That what made me take it. I think it was already worked out between my attorney and the state.
Do you understand the difference between a negotiated plea and a blind plea?
No,
Okay. Have you done anything besides a blind plea in front of a judge before?
yes, I think I have, yes.
And when you pled guilty on December 28th, 2022, was that a blind plea or something else?
I think it was just a plea. It wasn't a blind plea, though, if I'm not mistaken.
For a regular plea, what do you understand to be the terms? In other words, do you know your sentence before you plead guilty with a regular plea?
I don't know, because before the blind plea, I knew my plea.
Why did you then distinguish for the jury that it was a blind plea?
It was, but I already knew the sentence. My lawyer had already aware to me that they was offering the same thing. They was offering the co-defendants what they had pleaded guilty before me.
Okay.
So when I pleaded guilty, my lawyer aware me that they was offering the same plea deal that they gave them. But in my plea deal, I told my attorney that, like, I didn't want the probation. I just take the straight prison sentence.
Okay.
Yes, sir. All right, outside the presence of the jury? Okay. Yes? Yes. Okay. I'm going to excuse y'all to the jury room.
Your Honor, could the witness be excused?
Yes.
And Your Honor, may I approach the grab?
To do what? Sure. Yes, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, I have a motion for a mistrial. The evidence has just come out that two co-defendants who, to my knowledge, at least one of them is not testifying and has entered a guilty plea. That is a confrontation clause violation to Mr. Williams and the other people on trial. In addition, Your Honor, gave an instruction with the last line, and I know it was objected to previously, but I want to stress this, that if it's a prior inconsistent statement, it can be used against Mr. Williams and the other people. That was premature, because I don't believe there's anything inconsistent as of now. And then the third reason I'm moving for a mistrial in the aggregate, Your Honor, is that the prosecutor uses and reads the statement of the then prosecutor, I believe it was the Honorable Mr. Bailey, who entered this plea and gave a factual basis. But she did not make it clear that the Honorable Derek Wright said on page 12 of this transcript to the same court that Mr. Sledge is tendering the plea under Alford, which is ALFORD.
Yeah, I'm seeing the same thing. And honestly, I thought that we were going to be dealing with the guilty plea that he took in this case. And yeah, that's problematic that this 2015 case is an Alford plea. And so I don't think that any of what I said with regard to admissions is actually true, even against this. I mean, he's saying he pled under Alford, and I don't know why the disposition sheet doesn't say that, but it is very clear that this is an Alford plea in this 2015 case. So Mr. Wright wants to share something. Yes, sir.
Waiting for the appropriate time that I was going to point out that it was in fact an Alford plea. So I thought her cross-examination was not appropriate.
Well, y'all, I mean, maybe that, yeah.
It was something other than an Alford. So
Well, maybe don't wait so long next time. But, I mean, I'm definitely going to, Ms. Lev, do you want to be heard?
Yes, please.
All right, go ahead.
One, we'd ask that the court deny the motion for mistrial. Number two, we would ask, as it relates to the assertion that no inconsistent statement was made, in the factual acknowledgments.
Okay, no, see, that's the deal with an Alford plea, is you are not acknowledging that the facts are true like you would in a regular guilty plea. You're saying, I think that the state has enough evidence that a jury could be convinced beyond a reasonable doubt that these facts are true. But you're not acknowledging on your own, yes, these are true.
Your Honor, when I spoke of the factual acknowledgments, I meant 444Y.
Well, that's what I thought you meant.
Within 444Y, we referenced this particular
All right, let's
section.
Maybe if you can point me specifically, let me pull that one up.
Page.
Which number? Go ahead.
Number 3 on page 3 of 7, under defendant's factual, I'm sorry, not number 3, number 4, on defendant's factual acknowledgments, on or about April 28, 2015, as reflected in Fulton County Indictment 15 SC 138994, defendant and fellow YSL associates Demekion Garlington and Quindarius Zachary committed a drive-by shooting using the firearm defendant wielded in the video referenced in Part 3 of this section, targeting family members of a rival gang. Number 5, defendant and his fellow YSL associates committed the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3 and 4 above on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL.
Okay, and so those factual assertions, what I read as the limiting instruction, would be true for. But the factual basis that you just read out from the 2015 one, that's a whole lot more than what's in numbers 4 and 5.
Your Honor, in number 6, defendant admitted committing and was convicted of aggravated assault and participation in criminal street gang activity, among other charges, for his participation in the drive-by shooting referenced in section 3, 4, and 5 above.
Okay.
And so if I'll, of course, comply with whatever appropriate instruction that the court deems necessary to give as it relates to the conviction of this witness for 15 SC 138994, but given the factual acknowledgments that were made as it relates to 22 SC 183572, and the fact that this witness did not assert, even though the plea was given in his best interest. He was allowed an opportunity to say what he said here, and he did not say it.
No. When a defendant has an attorney who is saying, we are pleading this because we believe it to be in his best interest, the defendant does not then independently need to say, yeah, by the way, Judge, here's what Alfred means.
Understood.
So no. Are you going to tender for admission any part of 444Y?
Yes, the state intended to tender 444Y.
In its entirety?
Yes, I did.
Any objection to that being tendered or admitted in its entirety?
And if there is an objection to it, then
All right,
we would just.
let's find that out.
Okay.
Point to the entirety of the document unless the state can give reasons for which parts of the document are admissible at this time. And if they're not tendering yet, I understand that. But I can't get around how we got here. I'm trying to follow this factual basis, and I realize I asked Ms. Renard, R-E-N-A-R-D, for this, and we're in a different case.
Yeah, we are. So, we've been talking about these 2015 crimes, and we've been talking about, what's been going on in this 22 indictment. So, I guess that's how it came about. But I wish we'd been a little more specific about it all beforehand, because, I noticed this morning that this was an Alfred plea. And I would have had issues with when you started reading out the factual basis. I'm thinking, well, is this some other case that I don't know about that's not the 2015 case and not the 22 case? Because we should have been reading the factual basis from the 2015 case.
Your Honor, the 2015 case, I understand what the court is saying. The 2015 case is one of the overt acts that we allege in the indictment. And as it relates to the defendant's conviction for the 2015 case, we believe that it would be appropriate is an appropriate matter for cross-examination, and it appropriately falls under the portion of the court's instruction where it tells the jury that the conviction itself is not to be considered as evidence. And to the extent that Mr. Sledge is asserting that he didn't do it, that he dropped someone off, that is what he asserted, by the way. He said that he was not present, he dropped him off, and it was only one house.
Well, we all know how party to a crime works. So, yeah, he said, I didn't shoot, but he did admit to being the driver.
And so, to the extent that he said that, the statement contained in his factual acknowledgement that he and fellow YSL associates, and I'd also point out that early on he made a very blatant, inconsistent statement that YSL is not a gang. And in this factual acknowledgement section.
All right, we're not going to use anything in the factual acknowledgement section of the 2015 plea.
No, in the 22 SC 183.
Okay, yeah, no. All of that is inconsistent with any of his trial testimony is fair game for you to tender for admission and for them to consider as substantive evidence against everybody. The issue we have that needs to get cleared up is that before I read this limiting instruction, I thought you were going to tender the guilty plea to this 22 SC case. And it turns out that you were talking about the 2015 case, which I understand you're saying we did part of that as, part of the 22 factual acknowledgments. So those factual acknowledgments in there are fine as well. When I say in there, I mean in this 22 case. But I'm going to have to clarify for the jury that what I told them about prior inconsistent statements
does not apply.
Does not apply. And that everything you just read from that guilty plea also needs to be disregarded.
So, Your Honor, as it relates to the court's instruction to the jury regarding the inconsistent statement not applying, we would only ask that the court specify that the court is speaking as to the factual basis that I asked the witness about in 15 SC 138994, particularly where he has testified and he pled in his best interest.
Okay. And you haven't tendered yet the 444Y. And so at the point in time when you tender that, then I'll say, okay, for this one, this is true.
I see what, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. If anybody wants to suggest specific language, I'm willing to listen. Otherwise, I'm just going to kind of give it my best shot.
I would like.
And Your Honor, may I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Because number one, the court has previously instructed the jury that questions, and I understand the content of the question needs to be addressed. But given that the witness has testified that he pled guilty in his best interest, and given that he can also be cross-examined as to whether or not he can, he was asserting these things, we don't believe that anything beyond a instruction regarding the factual basis for 15 SC 138994 not being considered a statement of the witness is required.
Okay.
I just respectfully don't think that goes far enough. You have a prosecutor who's saying it's just a blind plea. She leaves out everything about Alfred. She elicits, and I'm not saying that she could have anticipated this, but her questioning elicits that a non-testifying severed co-indictee pled guilty also. That is a total Confrontation Clause violation. It's the second time.
All right, and that's Zachary and...
Well, Mr. Zachary, I anticipate may testify.
Right.
I don't know. He hasn't yet. But it definitely includes Mr. Garlington, who the state has said will not be testifying. And then, just for you to know, you were not here, but the predecessor judge permitted, over objection, the state to do the same thing. They did it with a Mr. Winfrey, just like the court reporter's last name. He's not going to testify. No one believes he's going to testify. The state doesn't say he's going to testify. And they got out that he pled guilty. So they're aware of all this. And in fact, the state elicited in that case that the gentleman, Mr. Winfrey, pled guilty to avoid plea. It was vacated by the Supreme Court of Georgia.
Yeah, I remember you.
So, and
Didn't
then
he enter another one after the fact, though, anyway?
5 years later, Alfred plea and said I'm
Okay.
specifically innocent.
Yep.
I mean, it was a farce.
Right.
And then the predecessor judge wouldn't even let me examine the witness, and Miss Love said that the witness I could call in my case in chief on direct. So the reason I'm bringing that up is this is not new.
Okay. What's your intention with regard to Mr. Garlington? Do you have any intention of calling him?
Your Honor, no. And Mr. Steele is absolutely correct in terms of the witness testifying about Mr. Garlington and Mr. Zachary and his doing that. There's nothing that indicates that the only reason he did that was because they pled guilty. So that is not, in other words, his statements that he gave to the jury about Mr. Garlington pleading guilty and all of that are not something that I asked him about or expected
No.
him to be talking about.
Right. Okay. But nonetheless, we have that now before the jury.
We would
So-
ask that the court tell the jury to strike, disregard, put out of their mind anything about the Mr. Garlington pleading guilty.
I'm just to say anyone other than the witness on the stand.
Okay. But Mr. Zachary is a witness.
I know that, but he hadn't been called yet, has he?
No.
So
no.
deal with it when he gets called.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, on behalf of Mr. Sledge, clearly at a jury trial, we are always assessing the credibility of witnesses. My client has now been impugned, or at least attempted to be impugned by the state by suggesting that either he should have been making a statement or his plea was something other, or that these facts are in fact his adopted, admitted facts.
I'm going to make it clear that that's not the case.
And that's where I want to make absolutely clear that he was right in the position he was taking, that it was in his best interest.
All right. Anything else before we get the jury back in? That is a great idea. Let's all do that. Or take that opportunity. Okay, that is denied.
And then because you're giving curative instructions, maybe instead of making the same motions before the next question, can you just acknowledge that I would have done that and then still do the motion for mistrust?
Yes. All right, let's take 5 or 10 minutes ourselves. Just to say something.
Poised.
All right.
Judge, I fully adopt on behalf of Mr. Nichols, and I know I don't need to under the rule we're operating under, the motion for mistrial. I understand your ruling. I understand you're going to give an instruction, but I ask that as part of that instruction for an admonishment under 17-875, and I think that admonishment is mandatory, where counsel makes statements of prejudicial matters which are not in evidence. And I believe that this applies to this particular instance under these particular circumstances. So I'd asked the court to admonish counsel. Yes, in front of the jury, obviously, as part of the instruction.
All right. Give me a second to get signed into Lexis and take a look exactly at what the statute says. Give me that site again. 1775. I left out a number. Do you have any suggested language? I'm sure you do. That would be appropriate for the court to give at us as an admonishment.
I haven't. We can come up with something.
All right. Well, let's endeavor to do that right now.
Permit the state to make a response.
You may. Go ahead.
Now, okay. Your Honor, given that 17-875 refers to statements of prejudicial matters, which are not in evidence, and the factual basis given or read by the prosecutor in the plea in the 15 SC case, while containing details that are not contained within the factual acknowledgments of 22 SC 183-572, it contains, it's about the same act, which in the factual acknowledgments for this case, the defendant says occurred. He admits and acknowledges that he, Demekion Garlington, and Quindarius Zachary committed a drive-by shooting at this residence, and that they committed the drive-by shooting on behalf of YSL and to increase the notoriety, reputation, and fear of YSL, and that he admitted and was convicted of aggravated assault, participation in criminal street gang activity, and among other charges for his participation in the drive-by shooting referenced in sections 3, 4, and 5. And given that this evidence will be properly before the jury, our position is that these statements, the questions that I asked, which contains the factual basis, the assertion about the factual basis in the 15 SC case, would not be a prejudicial matter. Though the factual basis is not in evidence, the fact of the shooting is not a prejudicial matter, which mandates a rebuke.
Okay. Well, the fact that a co-defendant who may not ultimately testify and who you do not believe will testify has pled guilty.
I don't disagree that that should go, but that was not something that I.
No, I know. I don't think that you intended to elicit that, but yes, I'm going to give a rebuke. Ms. Love, I mean, that's just what it is sometimes to be the prosecutor in a case. Got to have a tough skin. Suggested language, Mr. Harvey, or others?
Need for some smarter colleagues to give me some suggestions, which is everybody in these three tables.
And Your Honor, I'm still reading under the annotations of that particular statute regarding the rebuke.
We also presented this, by the way, as a guilty plea, not as an offered plea. And we read a factual basis from something that's not in evidence. It is so highly prejudicial that we all made a motion for mistrial. A rebuke is in order under 17875, and I think the court in front of the jury can say, and I hereby admonish the state for bringing up these matters that I have just told you to disregard, and the state should not do that again.
Your Honor, what the annotations say is what the law forbids is the introduction into a case by way of argument of facts, not only not in the record, but that are calculated to prejudice the accused. And
all right, Ms. Love, I'm going to give some sort of an admonishment. And I mean, sometimes you need to just, keep your powder dry and not argue every single thing to the nth degree. I've already said I'm giving it. So, I mean, I can grant a mistrial if you'd prefer.
Oh, no.
Okay, then maybe stop arguing at this point.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Now, in terms of her having presented it as a guilty plea, an offered plea is still a guilty plea, so I don't find there to be anything wrong with her having references in a guilty plea, but, we already talked about the whole factual basis thing, so I won't rehash that, but okay. All right, and after I give the instructions, I'm going to ask y'all, I understand that the mistrial motions are preserved, but I am going to ask, since I haven't read out yet what I'm going to say, if y'all have any suggestions that you think would further elucidate, clarify, cure anything, I'm going to ask you for that. And if you have them, I would like for you to let me know that, and we can come up to the bench and consider any other further curative instructions, okay? All right, let's get the jury back out. And I mean, I don't know that we need the witness in here for that, but
will the court prior to
go ahead?
Will the court prior to bringing in the jury, would the court be willing to read the
what
rebuke?
I'm going to say? Well, I don't know what the rebuke. I mean, it's probably going to be something to the effect of, after I explain to them what they're not to consider, I also admonish and rebuke you, Ms. Love, to pay careful attention to how you ask questions and to what you put before the jury. Mr. Harvey wants more. What else? I'll consider it.
Um, you should be banned from asking any more questions ever for the rest of the.
Well,
For the rest
okay,
of my life?
reasonably speaking, though.
That may be going a little bit too far. But that's already been asked for, by the way. And that the court, in giving these instructions, intends to rebuke the state for asking those, for eliciting that improper testimony.
So, Your Honor, it wasn't improper testimony. It
Okay.
was the question.
Improper statements of the state. That's the whole point of a rebuke. That's the whole point.
And we would ask that the court just, if the court is going to read, that the court reads only what the court initially said.
I will say you should not have put that factual rendition before the jury as anything this witness admitted to. Mm-hmm. I'm listening.
At the time he pled guilty
Okay.
in 2017, because
I understand.
Your Honor,
Give me just a second. Sorry. Yes.
let me request that the court consider including in its admonition the following language if the court deems it to be appropriate. Somewhere in there, the presentation of that evidence that I've described was improper and was not in keeping with the law and the prosecutor's ethical obligations. Accordingly, the state is admonished for their behavior and is instructed to refrain from asking or presenting any improper questions or evidence moving forward.
All right. I'll do a little bit of it, but not all of it. What was that last sentence?
I like the first sentence.
I'm sure you do. Instructed to refrain from what?
Refrain from asking any improper questions or presenting improper evidence.
All right. Well, they're not presenting evidence, so.
And
All
must,
right.
and should conduct themselves within their ethical obligations
All
and
right.
legality.
Thank you. I'm not going to do that.
All right, I got some more.
Got some more? All right. I think this is going to be enough. All right. Let's get the jury out.
Witness back first.
I mean, do y'all want the witness in here for this?
no, Your Honor.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Have you or somebody instructed, maybe even Mr. Wright, the witness to not talk about anybody else's plea to anything? Can Mr. Wright just do that? All right, let's get the jury out. Be in here? Okay,
Your Honor, we do request that the
fine.
witness is present.
okay. Somebody let them know that. You can hurry. I mean, I've already said for the jury to come in, so. All right. Thank you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I've got some further instructions for you with regard to some of what you just heard. So I gave y'all an instruction that if this witness provided testimony that was inconsistent with a guilty plea admission, that you could accept that guilty plea admission as substantive evidence against any of these defendants. But then what we heard was that this witness pled guilty in 2017 to that being a part of that 2015 drive-by shooting. But and we heard kind of a factual basis that the prosecutor in that guilty plea had read before the court, or somebody had read before the court, as a part of what Ms. Love was asking questions about, and she was, kind of reading it from a transcript. All right, here's the thing, is that guilty plea, as I think you heard this witness say, he entered that because he believed it to be in his best interest to do that. And this gets into a whole lot of kind of legal terminology and legal concepts, but there are a couple of different ways that somebody can say, yes, I'm pleading guilty to a crime. And one of them is called an Alford plea. It's just named after a case called Alford. But they're essentially saying, I am going to plead and accept that I'm guilty of this crime, but I am not saying that the facts that the state's putting forward are true. I am just saying I think it's in my best interest to go ahead and resolve it that way. So everything that you heard, and that is totally legitimate to do that. And let me also say that Mr. Wright, who was representing this witness at the time, he let the court at that time in 2017 know, hey, this is an Alford plea. He's doing this because it's in his best interest, he believes, to do this. And Mr. Sledge was under no obligation after his attorney said that to, even if he got an opportunity to say anything else, to say, yeah, what my lawyer said, to add anything whatsoever to that. So I think there was a question about that, and he didn't, he didn't say anything else. He had no obligation to. He had no requirement to. He had no responsibility to, okay? So basically what I told you about, you can take those facts and those admissions and consider it against him or anybody else in this trial. When it's an Alford plea, you cannot. So none of that I said was actually true about what you just heard about those 2017 guilty plea to the 2015 drive-by shooting, okay? So let me think what else. Oh, and you also need to completely disregard that anybody other than this witness right here, Mr. Sledge, might have pled to anything that had to do with that drive-by shooting, all right? So just entirely erase that from your minds. And I also, at this point, am going to admonish and rebuke you, Ms. Love, to pay careful attention to how you ask questions and to what you put before the jury. You should not have put that factual rendition before the jury as anything that this witness admitted to at the time of the 2027 guilty plea. And I'm going to instruct you to refrain from asking improper questions.
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. Anything in addition that anybody needs to put before the court right now with regard to those curative instructions? All right. All right, go ahead, Ms. Love.
Mr. Sledge. Would you tell the jury, just one moment.
Sure.
whether you are familiar with a person by the name of Antonio Sumlin who goes by the name Obama.
I know of him.
How do you know of him?
Just seeing him around.
Have you ever have you ever
We
hung
probably
out
been in the
with?
same. We probably been in the same vicinity, but I never hung with him. He never been in a car with me. He never nothing like that.
What about Martinez Arnold?
Yes, I know Martinez.
How long have you known him?
I've been knowing Martinez on whoa. It's been a minute. I can't actually tell you how long, but it's been a minute.
Is he a person that you know who also answers to the name Duke?
Yes.
All right. Is Martinez Arnold YSL?
He's an artist of YSL.
And what about Antonio Sumlin? Is he YSL?
I can't tell you yes or no to that answer.
Now, putting aside matters in 2017, as they relate to December 28th, 2022, at any point, did you make an assertion while speaking with the state through your attorney that YSL is not a gang?
I don't think I made it in that plea agreement, but in 2015, okay, right.
In 2022, December 28th, 2022, at any point, did you assert that YSL is not a gang?
No.
At any point, did you assert that YSL members, that you are unaware of 3 or more YSL members who have committed crimes intended to increase the notoriety, street credibility, and reputation of YSL? At any point, did you make that assertion?
I don't remember.
Is there anything that would refresh your memory?
Yes, if you have anything that can refresh my memory.
What do you believe would refresh your memory?
I can't say. Whatever you have. If I can look at it or go over it, and then I can.
Yeah. Would looking at 444Y refresh your memory?
Yes.
Your factual acknowledgments, okay. Approaching the witness with 444Y.
All right.
Have you had a chance to review it?
Yes.
Does it refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay. So at any point, did you assert that YSL is not made up of 3 or more members or associates who have committed crimes to increase the reputation of YSL?
I misunderstood that question because from our understanding, y'all say 3 or more people that commit a crime is a gang.
Why do you keep tying the state's understanding to your answers?
Because that's my understanding. You can't. That's my understanding. When I was arrested, that's what Gator and Dennis, not the state. I'm sorry, Detective Gator and Dennis provided us with, which they probably misled us.
And so when you say that's what they provided us with, what does whatever it is that you're speaking of have to do with your acknowledgement that YSL is made up of 3 or more people who've committed crimes for YSL? What does one thing have to do with the other?
I don't know, Ms. Lord. I don't know.
Is there any part of section 1 under your factual acknowledgments that you did not understand?
Yes, because I thought just 3 or more people that committed a crime, y'all would consider it as a gang.
Again, let me ask
I
you
didn't
this
understand
question.
it then.
Is the word gang in section 1?
Yeah, but it said identify.
I'm sorry, what are you saying?
It said when you identify, it said identify. When you identify gang members, you identify with colors and hand signals. So that's why I took it as a gang.
So my question to you is not at this point about you taking something as a gang. It's specifically related to YSL being made up of 3 or more people who've committed crimes for YSL. Is that what you acknowledged in count 1?
Yes, I initiate, yes.
Okay. So how does what Gaither or Dennis may or may not have said to you, what does that have to do with whether or not you know about 3 or more people who've committed crimes for YSL?
I can't say.
You also said you've been a member of YSL since 2012. Your memory was refreshed.
Yes, because as it went on, it started as a neighborhood gang, but
It started. Wait.
a neighborhood gang.
What are you saying? Spell what you're saying.
Gang.
Okay. What started as a neighborhood gang?
YSL.
All right. What do you mean when you say gang in that sentence?
You ain't let me finish the first.
I promise you I will, just if you don't mind. Can you tell the jury what you mean when you say gang right there?
What it said, gang. 3 or more people.
Keep going.
It's a gang, you say.
No. I can't testify, so it has to be you and your
I
words.
just said 3 or more people is a gang.
So when you say that YSL started as a neighborhood gang, what is it that you mean? That it just has 3 or more people?
Yeah, because, well, I guess, from my understanding, I guess.
So tell the jury what you understand a gang to be. Apart from Gaither, Dennis, or anyone from the state, what is Mr. Antonio Sledge's understanding of what a gang is?
Judge, I'm going to object. It calls for a legal conclusion by this witness.
No, sir, it doesn't. So I'm going to overrule that. She's asking about his lay understanding of it.
My understanding of the gang was 3 or more people hanging together. That's my understanding. I didn't think you had to be committing a crime to be a gang.
So continue explaining why you said it started out as a neighborhood gang.
Because that was my understanding of it.
Okay. And so then what happened?
Jeffrey Williams started a company called YSL the Label. Okay. So it departed from the gang.
Okay. So who all was a part of the neighborhood gang called YSL?
I can't name. In this courtroom, I don't see anybody, but you got a couple of us. I can say I was. I'm gonna say I was. I can't I can't name the other people. I'm gonna stick where I was.
Who started YSL, the neighborhood gang?
I wasn't there when they started, so I don't know.
What is your understanding of who started it?
Mondo said he started. He ain't on this case.
Why do you mention that Mondo isn't on this case?
I'm just saying. You said who started YSL the game?
Okay.
You.
So is
He.
Mondo, to your knowledge, also YSL, a YSL gang member?
I don't know. I never hung with Mondo.
Okay.
I don't really even know him.
So who did you hang with as part of YSL, the neighborhood gang?
Well, I guess you could say Stevens. I don't want to name the other people they did. I don't want to name the deceased, if that okay with you.
Is Stevens the only living person that you know of who was a member of YSL, the neighborhood gang?
That I know personally?
That you know of who was a member of YSL, the neighborhood gang?
I can't think of right now off the top of my head.
Is every person that you hang with or consider a friend or a loved one a member of a gang?
Had they been a member of a gang?
Is everybody that you hang with a member of the gang YSL?
I wouldn't say that.
What makes some people a member of the gang YSL and some people not, in your mind?
Based on what you say, based on what you tell me. If you told me you were YSL the gang, then that's my understanding. If you tell me you were part of YSL the label, that's my understanding.
Okay.
That don't mean it have to be true. You just,
Is it your testimony that the only requirement to be considered a gang in your mind is that 3 or more people hang out together?
No, because I thought to be in the game, you have to be whatever they call it, jumped in, beat in, whatever you want to call it.
Okay. So that's why I was asking you earlier. Tell the jury what Mr. Sledge's understanding of a gang is. Outside of anything you've heard from the state, tell the jury what your understanding of what a gang is.
I just told you, Ms. Lord.
All right. You said earlier, did you, that it just means that 3 people are hanging together?
I said that's part of three or more people hanging together, and some other way they said you have to be jumped in the gang. That's why I never consider YSL as a gang, because you don't have to get jumped in YSL to be YSL. A lot of people just say they YSL and run with it. And then I don't think for YSL, there's so many different people that probably claim gangs. You got Crips, you got Blood, you got GD, you even got what we call them civilians that say they YSL. So all that can't even go together as being a gang.
Okay. So given what can't go together as being a gang, just tell the jury what you think, what has to be present for a group to be considered a gang in your mind.
Objection asked and answered.
Sustained.
I'm going to show you what the state has labeled and previously provided to the defense, but I will provide again as State's Exhibit 410 Yankee to State's Exhibit 442 Yankee. And I will provide to the defense another copy. They have it already? Okay. Would you take a look at the photographs that are labeled 410 Yankee to 4. Let me actually enumerate. So 410, 411, 412, 413, 414, 415, 416, 417, 418, 419, 420, 421, 422, 423, 424, 426, 427, 428, 429, 430, 430. And tell me if you recognize those photographs. And Your Honor, I did not yet say 425, so I'm not tendered 425.
All right, say, well, it's 410Y through 424Y and then 426Y through 430Y?
Yes.
Okay.
I can't see 427. It's blurry.
All right. Can you pull up 427 on the digital? I'll bring you a digital copy of 427. Video. So for now, Your Honor, we won't consider 427 until I present that at a different time. You ready? Have you had a chance to look at 410 through 424 and 426 and then 428 through 430?
Yes.
Yankee? All right.
Yes.
Do you recognize those photographs?
I see them now, so yeah.
Are you depicted in those photographs?
Yes.
Okay. Are they fair and accurate depictions of you at the time that the photographs were taken?
I'm in the photographs. I see that much.
Okay. Are they fair and accurate depictions of you at
Yes,
the time? Okay.
yes.
Your Honor, the state tenders 410 Yankee, for 411 Yankee, actually 410 through 424 Yankee, 426 Yankee, and 428 Yankee through 430 Yankee.
All right. Is there another?
Got it.
Understood.
Are they admitted, Your Honor? Did the court say yes?
Yes, they're
Okay,
admitted.
thank you. All right, so Mr. Sledge, I'm going to start out with 410 Yankee. And I'm going to display it on the screen right over your right shoulder.
I can see it right here.
Okay? And if we could just blow that up. Okay.
It ain't right. No more.
Did you have a social media? Do you use social media, Mr.
Yes.
Sledge?
Yes.
What platforms of social media do you use?
I don't have like an Instagram.
What is your Instagram name?
I think it's double OG Toon right now.
Right now.
Yeah.
What was it in 2015?
Right here it say triple OG Toon.
And does right there accurately reflect what your Instagram name was in 2015?
Yes.
All right. What types of things did you post on Instagram?
I post a lot on Instagram. Pictures of me and friends, probably sometime my kids.
Okay. And everyone having different reasons for posting. What reasons? What are some of the reasons you would post on Instagram?
It's a website. It's an entertainment site.
Okay. Did you sometimes post messages on Instagram?
Maybe.
Looking at 410 Yankee. All right. What message did you post on the picture in State's Exhibit 410 Yankee?
YSL, fuck the rest, love.
YSL.
Fuck the rest, love.
And what is next to the word love?
100, 2 green heart, 2 green snakes.
And how is it that you spell the word immediately to the right of YSL?
How did I spell it?
Yes, how did you spell it?
I talked to see y'all and put an X in it.
Why?
Because that's what I wanted to do.
Why did you want to do that?
Why I can't do it?
You can. I'm just asking why
okay.
you wanted to do it.
There was no reason.
It was random. Okay. Would you tell the jury who all is depicted in State's Exhibit 410 Yankee for the record?
I can't name all them people right now. I can only name the people I know.
Would you stand up, being careful, do not trip over the ledge?
Yeah, I got a bad leg.
I don't want you to trip. And point out the people to the jury that you do know and tell their names or what you call them.
I see me. I see Mr. Arnold. I see Mr. Kendra, Shannon.
Would you do me a favor? I'm going to give you this microphone so that you can point out. Speaking to it though.
Y'all don't have a laser pointer?
We had a pointer.
I mean, a laser pointer would be a better idea than a stick, but either would be better than just.
Your point, I'm not saying I don't know these people.
That's okay.
Me, Arnold, Stevenson. I think, yeah, that's Roscoe. Garnington.
Let's go with where the pointer is. Can you see that white pointer?
That's Garnington.
Okay. Go ahead.
I think that's Pee Wee.
Who is Pee Wee? Do you know his real name? Is it
I don't-
Jimmy Winfrey?
I think that's what it is. I don't actually remember. I think that's what it is, though.
Go ahead.
Stevenson,
All right.
me.
All right.
I think that's Jeffrey,
Uh-huh.
Shannon,
Okay.
Mr. Kendrick,
Uh-huh.
Mr. Arnold.
Okay.
I can't see who that is.
All right.
I don't know. I don't know who that is. You can't even see his face.
Can you tell who the person is in the white hoodie to the far left of the screen?
I don't really know him.
What about the one to the far right of the screen?
I don't really know him either.
Okay. Now, thank you. You can have a seat. Thank you so much. Is the date and time reflected on that post April 28th, 2015 at 11:58 a.m.?
I don't see the time, but I see the, oh yes. Yes, that's the time of the day.
All right. Now, do you have any reason why you posted this particular picture with that particular caption on April 28th, 2015?
I don't have any reason. The person who's over YSL, the label, right there in the picture,
All right.
he have a YSL shirt on.
The person that's over YSL, the label, has a YSL shirt on?
No, I said that Mr. Jeffrey, who owns, well, who's over YSL, the label, is right there in the picture.
Is it your testimony, or you said earlier rather, that Mondo said he started YSL, the gang?
I never said the label. I said the gang. That's what he said. I didn't say he started.
I said that you said Mondo said.
I heard Mondo say he started YSL, the gang. So
from your understanding, is there anyone other than Mondo who started YSL, the gang?
what I don't want to say because it's hearsay.
I just want to know your understanding of the gang you were a member of in 2012.
Hearsay, I could say Stevenson, they said.
So when you, how did you become a member of YSL?
I just started saying I was YSL. Like I told you, anybody can say that.
Okay. Do you know a young man named Walter Murphy who answers to the name DK?
Yeah, I know Walter Murphy.
Is he YSL?
I heard him say it before, so I guess.
Tell the jury who all in this picture that you posted on April the 28th, 2015 are members of YSL.
Do you want me to tell you the people who the label YSL, or you want to tell the people that would probably say they was YSL the gang?
YSL in any capacity, tell the jury
Okay, the
what
label.
people you were referring to when you said
You got,
YSL, FUXK, the rest, love.
all right, you got Jeffrey Williams, he had a YSL the label. You got Mr. Honor, he's an artist. You got Mr. Kendrick, he's an artist. You got Mr. Stillwell, was trying to become an artist of YSL. And
YSL in any way, label, gang. Who in this photograph would you consider YSL?
you confuse me, because you had certain people initiated YSL one way, and you had other people initiated another way. So I can actually say, since they not part of the label, and they probably will consider themselves, well, I don't know where Roscoe really was, but he considered himself as the label. So I say me, probably at the time, I worked it for the label, but I could say, I guess Stevenson, Garnerton, they never worked for the label. So, and I told you the other ones, I don't know.
What is the one way that some initiated themselves and the other way that others initiated themselves?
Could you repeat that?
Yes. What is one way that some initiated themselves and the other way that others initiated themselves?
I can't say, because everybody just throwing up YSL.
Why did you just tell the jury some initiated themselves one way and others initiated themselves
I
another way?
understand everything you say, Ms. Lord. Some of them just throwing up YSL, saying they YSL, and the rest don't work for YSL.
What did you mean when you used the word initiated?
Initiated?
Yes, sir.
I don't know. I don't even really. I just was saying something.
What do you were
I
just
don't even-
saying stuff?
Yes.
Why did you just say that particular word?
I don't know.
Why is your index finger
Wiping my
under your nose?
That's the way I decided to take the picture that day.
Okay. And why did
Me?
you said wiping the nose.
Right.
What does that mean?
Wiping nose. There's no other way you could put that.
Is that a symbol or a hand sign that YSL members frequently use?
I guess.
Okay. Those two green hearts, why did you choose to post green hearts next to the 100s after you said YSL, FUXK, the rest love?
I guess because I wanted to use the green hearts on the states on this post at that time.
Are green hearts emojis that YSL members typically use to represent themselves?
I don't
or
think
to show love for YSL?
To show love, but I don't think YSL the only people that use the green emojis.
That's fair. That's not what I'm asking. I am asking, are those hearts, specifically green hearts, emojis that YSL members frequently use to either show love or to identify themselves?
To show love.
Okay. Do you know why the hearts are green that YSL members typically use?
No.
Is green a color that is associated with YSL?
Maybe.
Maybe?
Yes.
How long has it been associated with YSL? Since you were a member in 2012?
I I don't know. I don't think, cause I don't even think the green emoji was on the phone in 2012.
What about the two emojis next to the green hearts? What are they?
They snakes look like.
Okay. You posted it, right?
Right.
So what
But
did you
I'm
post?
I'm telling you, they look like green snakes right there.
All right. Why did you post two green snakes next to the two green hearts after YSL FUXK the rest love?
I like the emojis, Miss Love.
Are green snakes emojis that YSL members typically use when communicating with one another and making postings about themselves?
I wouldn't say, because I seen LeBron James use the green snake emoji, Kobe Bryant. I don't seen a lot of people use the green emoji.
Understood. I am talking about YSL members.
I guess.
Okay. How many people on your post that is depicted in 410 Yankee actually have record deals or had record deals in 2015?
I couldn't answer that question for you, because I don't know if they had a deal, but I know they was rapping. I don't know the whole aspect of the legal business, but I know they was artists, they features on songs and things like that.
And do you know whether any of these persons that are depicted in 410 Yankee have actually been signed with a music label called YSL?
I never seen the paperwork, but they say they was.
How many?
Jeffrey Williams, Kendrick, and Mr. Honor.
Okay. Were you at a club in this photograph depicted in 410 Yankee?
I don't. It looked like a club, it looked like a strip club.
Okay.
If I want to say, if I'm not mistaken, I think we were celebrating Mama Duck's birthday that day. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken.
Who is Mama Duck?
That's Jeffrey Williams' mother.
Okay. And Mama Duck, that's the name you call her?
Yes.
And do you love Mama Duck?
With all my heart.
Okay. Is Mama Duck here today?
I can't see you in the way. Yeah, she right in front of me now.
All right. Was the photograph depicted in State's Exhibit 410 Yankee posted before or after Demekion Garlington got jumped in the club?
Could you pull the date back up? Because I'm not for sure.
Yes. Are you able to see it?
No, I can't see it right here.
Can you make it broader?
4/28. It looked like a day. Well, this picture actually was posted the next day. It wasn't even posted the night. It probably wasn't even posted. It probably was took before, and then I just posted it on the 28th.
Okay.
April.
And do you recall whether you posted it before or after Demekion got jumped?
Is there a day before? If he got jumped the 29th of April, you say? I don't recall what day it was that he got jumped.
Okay. Do you recall whether it was posted before or after you, Garlington, and Zachary did the drive-by?
I don't remember exactly the day the drive-by had. If you have anything to refresh my memory, I can go for that.
All right. Would looking at 444 Yankee refresh your memory?
Yes.
All right. Showing the witness approaching with 444 Yankee.
That's the plea deal. Why you bring them? They don't have the date on them, do it.
Does looking at page 3 of 7 for counsel's sake,
That can't be right.
what can't be right?
The date can't be right on another day it happened.
April 28, 2015
Because there's
cannot
no
be
way,
right?
there's no way we could be in two different places at one time. Well, that's the day I posted it. That's why I said it probably was the same night.
Okay.
That probably just the day. And that was that morning
Okay.
that I posted.
All right.
You trying to confuse me.
I promise you I'm not.
I promise you will.
All right. Well, are you able to see more clearly the timestamp?
Yeah, I posted that at 11 a.m.
Okay.
And the crazy part about the date's gotta be wrong, Ms. Lord.
Why do you say that?
Because the shooting was, I want to say 2, 3 in the morning, so that would have been the next day,
Okay.
not the same day. It wouldn't have been the 28th. It probably would have been the 29th.
Okay.
So that's why you trying to confuse me.
Okay.
So you wrong.
Okay. You realize I can't give testimony.
You right.
Okay. So moving on to State's Exhibit 411Y.
You gonna keep showing me the picture with this green snake on it?
What, are these your postings?
Yeah, but you just said something about the green snake just a minute ago. Why we gotta keep going about the green snake? I know the jury understand by now. You saying that
Okay.
the green snake is what we go by.
Who is we?
I'm saying that's what you said. You said
No,
me.
I can't give evidence.
You
don't
said
you?
me, Garlington. You said that I posted the green snake on the post with us in it. So that what YSL supposed to go by the green snake, right?
You do understand that I can't testify.
I'm saying, but
Let's quit this
to me,
and ask the next question.
I feel like
Showing you State's
I
Exhibit.
just feel like it's pointless.
Showing you State's Exhibit 411 Yankee. With the date clearly depicted.
I can't see the date.
Would you read for the jury the time and date depicted on that posting?
2 p.m. 4/24/2015.
And what is the caption that you put on this post?
I love my snakes and they love me.
Who is it that you consider your snakes?
Anybody I be with at that time?
Who is depicted in this collage of photographs in 411 Yankee?
They all different photos. I couldn't see that one right there, but I want to say me.
Let's start at the bottom left, and I'm going to point the arrow over different people starting at the bottom left.
That's me.
Okay. Who is the person that the icon is over now?
That look like Shannon.
And to his immediate left, who is that?
Oh, okay.
The next one.
You ain't on. That's Demiki and Garlington.
Who is Shannon in the picture with?
Me.
Okay. And who is Demikion Garlington in the picture with?
Me.
And up above Demikion and you, who is depicted in that
I
photograph?
can't see his face.
Can you
It's
zoom in
blurry.
a little bit?
No, it's blurry.
So at this point, you don't remember who's in that
I
photograph?
can't see his face really. It's blurry.
Are you able to see who is in the photograph to the left of that picture? If we blow it up some.
I don't see no face. I'm just looking at clothing from the last video. And then I can identify like that. But I can't see their face.
When you say clothing from the last video, was either of these pictures taken at the same time that the picture was taken in 410 Yankee?
No, all these pictures was taken at different times.
Okay.
I put them on a collab together.
Are the green snakes, when you say, I love my snakes and they green heart me, are you referring to your fellow YSL members with the green snakes?
I guess, Miss Love.
Why do you guess? Do you not know?
Yes, Miss Love.
Showing you State's Exhibit 412 Yankee with the date depicted, if we could zoom in on it. Let's start out with the time and date that 412 Yankee was posted. Would you read that into the record, please?
I can't see the time, but it said, I got my little brother with me, love them niggas to death. 100, 2 green snakes.
All right. Can you see the time now?
No, you gotta go up.
Okay.
Up. Not, yeah.
All right.
1:12 p.m., 4/20, 2015.
Okay. And what little brothers is it that you have with you?
I think that's Shannon and, is that Shannon? I think that's not Shannon. I think that's I can't see the face. I know that's Zachary.
All right. Now, you also have 2 green hearts, snakes. Are those 2 green snakes at the end of that?
Yes.
And are these people in this photograph with you also considered your snakes?
Yes.
Or, okay. All right. Showing you State's Exhibit 413 Yankee. As we zoom in on the date and the time with each one.
Did we already see this picture?
Would you read into the record what the date and the time are for State's Exhibit?
Me and the YSL family, 2 green heart, 2 green snake, 100.
Okay. And what date and time?
Time,
Did you post it?
4:53 p.m., 4/18, 2015.
All right.
So you could actually see they all different dates, but the same picture. So I don't know what date they was taken.
Okay. I'm asking about the date that they were posted.
Posted. Oh, okay.
Okay. I'm going to go to State's Exhibit 416 Yankee. Blowing up 416 Yankee to show the date and the time. Let's start at the very bottom with the time and the date of this post. Would you read into the record the time and date of this particular post?
It's a bitch on blood, 100, 100.
Thank you. You got ahead of me. I need you to read the time and date that you made this post on your Instagram account.
10/23/3/27, 2010.
10:23 p.m. on March 27, 2015?
Yes.
All right. Now, what are you doing with your hand?
I can't see it.
Let's
Not on here.
go down and blow it up.
I see I'm shooting a bird and I'm throwing up it looked like a 3.
Okay, your left hand, you're shooting a bird. Are you not showing YSL with your right hand?
That's not why I said.
Okay. When you say,
I said it look like I'm throwing up a 3. We throw up 3 for zone 3.
how do you spell, you said that says bitch on blood. How do you spell bitch in 416 Yankee?
I took the S out the C. I replaced the C with an X.
Why?
It's just something we do.
Who is we?
People in general, I seen on the internet do it. I can't say Pacific, I've seen a lot of people do it.
Have you seen members of YSL do it besides yourself?
No.
Okay. What do you mean when you say your blood in 416 Yankee?
I said I'm blood. I never.
What do you mean when you say you are blood?
I affiliated with the blood gang.
All right. Did you also affiliate with the blood gang in 2012?
No.
When did you begin affiliating with the blood gang?
Probably like, I want to say 13, 14.
How did you become affiliated with the blood gang?
Because I know a couple of people that was blood. I never joined, but I knew bloods.
What about the bloods make you consider them a gang using your definition?
I heard around the blood with blood gangs, so.
Going to State's Exhibit 417 Yankee. What date did you make the post depicted in 417 Yankee?
3/23/2015.
Who, showing the photograph, the pictures, tell the jury who is depicted in 417 Yankee.
Me, Shannon, and Stevenson. But I should have been saying on that post, me and my blood brothers. Because I look at them like my blood brothers. My little brothers.
Going from left, no, stay on the picture. Going from left to right, the person on Shannon's right, who is that person on the far right with the black and white?
That's me.
What are you doing with your hands?
I'm throwing up 2 guns.
What does that mean?
I don't really know. I used to carry 2 guns every day before you guys made me a convicted felon. I couldn't tote guns anymore.
Why are you holding up that particular hand sign to depict 2 guns?
Then I just said in the last thing that I was probably affiliated with the Bloods.
And so what does the 2 guns have to do with the Bloods?
I don't know. I seen a couple of Bloods just throw it up. I don't know. Sometimes they say Pistol Pete or something like that.
And who is Pistol Pete?
I don't know. I don't know who Pistol Pete is. I never met him.
Well, why'd you bring his name up?
I'm saying because that's what the 2 guns sometimes mean. I'm saying I don't know who he is, though. I don't know him personally. I don't know him. I never met him.
Have you heard of him?
I said I heard of him, but I don't know him.
What have you heard that he represents since you're throwing up the sign?
I heard he represents the blood gang.
Which blood gang?
I'm not. I think SMM say.
What does SMM stand for?
I think Set Money Murder.
Okay. And
Sex, Money, Murder.
And the person to your immediate left with the red or dark red hood hat?
He throwing up the 3.
Okay. Who is that? Is that Shannon?
Yes.
All right. The same Shannon in the courtroom today?
Yes.
All right. And the person to Shannon's left with the red sweatshirt on, who is that?
That's Steve's and shooting 2 birds.
Okay. Now let's get to what you made a post about. What do you say in your post?
I already said that.
Would you read it out loud? I'm sorry.
Me and my brothers don't play. Nah,
Wait.
for real.
I'm sorry. Do you see
Me and my bloods don't play. Nah, for real. 100 with the 2 green snakes.
And do you have an emoji or
I just said
for the word with the word that starts the word bloods?
A B.
Okay. And is it a red square with the white B in the middle? For the record.
Right, a B. A red square B, right.
What do you mean you and your bloods don't play? No, for real, for real. 100 green snakes.
It was just a post to make.
Why did you make that particular post?
No reason at all.
Who in this photograph were you talking about or referring to as your bloods who don't play?
Me and my blood brothers don't play.
Okay. Are you related to Shannon or to
No,
Mr. Stevens?
No, I'm not related to them. I just look at them like they is my little blood brothers.
And when you say blood brothers, what is it that you mean today?
My blood brothers. Not no gang blood brothers. My blood brothers.
And the two snakes. Is that meant to represent YSL?
We street talk like that, Ms. Laura.
You street talk like what?
Like just call each other our blood brothers. We don't have to, you don't have to be from the same mother. That's just the way we, that street language, like slang talk.
Now, all of the people that you previously told the jury that you know of who are members of YSL, did you meet all of them in the Cleveland Avenue area?
In this picture? Are you saying all the ones that I identified that I know?
Yes, all of the ones that you've identified as YSL today that you know. Did you meet all of them in the Cleveland Avenue area?
No.
Where else did you meet some of the people?
I don't recall, but I didn't meet all of them in the Cleveland Avenue area.
Did you meet Shannon in the Cleveland Avenue area?
No.
Okay. Did you meet Yak in the Cleveland Avenue area?
No.
What about Jeffrey Williams?
Yes, I met Jeffrey Williams in the Cleveland Avenue area.
And did you meet Quindarius Zachary in the Cleveland Avenue area?
No, I met Quindarius Zachary in Calhoun when he was a child.
Okay. Demekion Garlington?
Calhoun.
All right. How often did you hang out in the Cleveland Avenue area between 2009 and 2022?
I can't basically say. Because I used to be a little everywhere, so I can't say that I'll be here, I'll be there. I done been a lot of places in Atlanta hanging.
Are you the only member of YSL that you have seen replace a letter C with an X?
I don't know, Miss.
I'm not sure that it has.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Okay. Mr. Sledge is saying it is. And so was the answer yes, you're the only one?
Yes, I say I haven't seen anyone else use that emoji.
Going to State's Exhibit 415, and we're talking specifically replacing C's with X. Is this picture depicted in 415 Yankee one that you posted on your Instagram account?
Now I see it, but I never paid attention to it, Ms. Love.
Okay, so that I read.
And it say 30 deep.
No, I'm talking about replacing C's with X's. When you said now I see it, what were you referring to?
I see that he got, I don't know the word, but he got the.
Can you zoom in, please?
You can't see around, I just see the ITXH.
Is there a BI in front of that? Is there a B in front of that?
Yeah,
ITXH?
that look like a B, yes. That look like a B.
And you've never seen, you didn't notice that before?
No.
Okay. Moving on to State's Exhibit 418 Yankee. Let's blow up the time and date first. Can you read into the record the time and date that you posted, that picture depicted in 418 Yankee?
You said the date first, time and date?
Time and date, yes, sir.
9:43 p.m.
What date?
3/22/2015.
And what is the posting?
In Houston with my slime.
Okay. Now,
With my snakes, I'm sorry.
just to be accurate, would you say exactly what you wrote in the posting?
Snakes. I said we in Houston with snakes. I don't even understand. I don't even know what I would write.
Did you write, we in Houston with this shit?
With the shit, snakes.
Okay. And what did you mean when you wrote that post?
We just in Houston.
With what shit?
Just with the shit. Kicking our shit.
And what did that consist of?
We chilling.
Okay. Who all is in that picture?
I can't see.
Can you blow it up?
No, she had to go down.
Okay.
Oh, I can't tell.
Do you remember when that picture was taken?
No, I don't really actually know.
Do you remember being in Houston on that date?
I don't remember exactly what day we was in Houston, so.
Do you recognize anybody in that picture?
Yeah. I see me. I see Jeffrey, Shannon, Stevenson, is that OG Bentley, and Gunnington. And I think that's Dora.
Is OG Bentley also named Kelvin Treadwell?
I don't know his real name.
The person directly in the center on the top row that the icon is over now, who is that?
I don't know him.
Do you know a person by the name of Demise McMullen, who is also known as Nard?
I don't actually know him.
Do you know of him?
I don't heard his name, but I don't actually know him.
Have you ever hung out with him?
I don't recall.
Do you recognize that person as the person you know of as Nard or Demise McMullen?
I just told you I don't heard of him, but I don't know his real name, whatever you just said.
Is that person the person that you know of as Nard? That you're standing next to in the picture?
Yes.
Okay. So the one that we just were looking at, that is the Nard you know?
Yes.
Okay. I am going to show you 420 Yankees, starting with the date, and ask you to read first the time and date of the posting depicted in 420 Yankee.
We still screaming, fuck the Crime Stoppers.
I'm sorry, could you say that again?
We still screaming, fuck the Crime Stoppers. See, as I use the C right now, then it's the C out.
What do you have next to that caption?
What is that, a cat there with the police with two guns?
Where are the two guns pointed?
It's going to be pointed towards the police head anyway, because that's just how the emoji going to
Why didn't you put the police emoji on the other side of the two guns? So it ain't pointed at the police head.
I don't know, Ms. Love, just posting.
Okay.
There's no specific reason for that.
That green cactus, is that a cactus? What is that?
Yeah, I don't even know what it means. That's what I'm telling you.
Oh,
It's a cactus. It's a tree.
Okay. And what date and time was that posted?
I can't see. Oh, 9:53 p.m., 2/28/2015.
And who is in that posting?
And Zachary.
Pictures?
Me and Zachary. Okay. And he's shooting a bird. I'm shooting a bird.
What did you call Zachary, as you said?
What you mean? Lil D.
All right. Was he signed as an artist under YSL?
Not from my understanding.
Sure. Why did you tag somebody in that picture?
I tagged D. That was his name. YSL D.
YSL Lil D.
They didn't say, yeah, YSL Lil D.
And do you know why his tag is YSL Lil D when he wasn't under the label?
I don't know. I went back to this. Anybody in the world could say they was YSL. I've been answered that question. Anybody in the world. You can come out tomorrow and say, oh, I'm YSL. You YSL.
Why did you say we still screaming F the Crime Stoppers?
Hey,
Why you want to F the Crime Stoppers?
that's me. That's what I say.
Why do you
and I
want to F
still
the...
have said today. I don't, you know, it's a post.
What do you have against Crime Stoppers?
I think I don't have nothing against Crime Stoppers.
Then why you
I
wanna...
think they full of BS.
How so?
Because they just is. The police BS to me.
Showing you states 421 Yankee. Blowing up the date and time. Let's start at the very bottom. What date and time did you make that post?
They say 5 o'clock p.m., 2/26/2015.
All right. And what is the post that you made? Could you read it
That's
exactly
a song.
as it's written?
It's a song. I never switch up on my brew. I'm not a dub.
And do you use a red square with the white B in the middle for brew?
It just looked better than using the regular B.
Why didn't you use a C?
I don't know. I initiated it.
You what?
I initiated the C. I swapped the C out for the B. The B looked better.
Is there an emoji with a C in it?
Do they have an emoji with a C? I don't know.
What is a dub? D-U-B-B.
I don't know. That's just, I don't know. I don't actually know. I have no knowledge what a dub really are.
What did you mean when you posted it?
I just posted it. It was for a social media post. That's all.
Whose song is it?
I think Jeffrey have a song like that, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay. Who did you tag in this post?
I tagged Lil D and Thugger Thugger, who was in the picture with me.
Okay. And is Thugger Thugger defendant Jeffrey Williams?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Could you scroll down? Yeah. All right. And are those people the ones that you say are your brew?
That's what the post say, yes. That's what I said, Ms. Lowe.
And do you have any reason to be saying when you say switch up, what do you take switch up to mean? What did you intend that it convey when you
I
made that post?
I will never stop loving my brothers.
Thank you. Showing you states 422 Yankee. Starting with the time and date at the very bottom. If you could scroll it up and blow up the time and date. Mr. Sledge, would you please read the time and date at the very bottom first?
The time and the date, 1:46 p.m., 3/20/2015.
And what is the posting that you made underneath the photograph?
I said, this is my family. I love them to death. Real YSL shit. At Dolly Yak. 30 DSB with the shit and at Thugger Thugger.
Now, who is at 30 D?
That's D'Amica and Garnison.
And who is SB with the shit?
Shannon Stillwell.
Okay. And when you said real YSL, do you place any emojis to the right of the word YSL?
3 green snakes.
Is Demikion Garlington signed as an artist under YSL?
No.
Is Dolly White signed as an artist under YSL?
I'm not for sure.
Okay.
But I'm for sure she'll rep her brother label. So.
To be clear, at Dolly White, is that Defendant Williams' sister?
Yes.
Right. Showing you states 423 Yankee.
Objection, Your Honor.
Wait a minute, don't show it.
Under 403, waste of time, cumulative.
Are we going to do anything else with the rest of these photos?
These are the ones that we went over previously that we
I
said.
know, but is this essentially the same type posts? Do we have any new people in them? Any new?
Each one of them, Your Honor, is on a different day, and they have different captions, and the captions we believe are important.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. And I know you hadn't been having everybody identify all the people, so as long as you just keep moving through, go ahead.
Okay.
Overruled.
423 Yankee, starting with the date and time at the very bottom. Would you please read the date and time you made that post? Blow up the date and time.
We told you YSL.
No, the date and time.
The date and time is 3:28 p.m. 1/5/2015.
And what is the post that you made?
We told you YSL will never fold.
And what do you have to the right of those words?
2 green snakes.
And two, what are those, exclamation points on the either
Yeah,
side?
on each side.
Okay. Would you please explain to the jury what you meant when you said YSL will never fold?
Because we knew Jeffrey Williams was going to make it as a great artist.
Okay. And when you said, we told you YSL will never fold, who is the we that you're talking about?
Shit, excuse me, y'all. Us as a family.
And who all is depicted in
I can't.
423, after we bring it down? Who all is it that you're referring to as YSL who will never fold?
That's Zachary, me, Kendrick, and Anna. I don't refer to say the deceased.
You what?
I refer not to say the deceased, the other person he deceased in this picture.
Was he an artist that was signed under YSL?
I'm not for sure.
Okay. Would you explain to the jury what the dugout is?
The dugout was a gambling spot.
Is
They
it?
sold food. It was just a little hangout spot.
Did YSL members hang out at the dugout frequently?
Not just YSL people hung out, though. It was a variety of people, but you only gonna take pictures with people you know.
So
it was old men, everything hung out there. They probably old enough to be my daddy.
where is the dugout located?
I don't know exactly the street. Is that McDonald Boulevard, if I'm not mistaken?
Is it in Lakewood? Is it in?
It's not actually
New area?
It's the Lakewood. You can say Lakewood or Summerhill.
Okay.
Whichever one it's in between.
And showing you State's Exhibit 426 Yankee, would you tell the jury who is depicted in State's 426 Yankee?
My deceased brother.
Okay. Okay. Skip past 426 because that wasn't admitted. And Your Honor, my apologies. I believe that was one that we didn't tender.
Which one?
We did?
Which one?
426 Yankee?
Yeah, you did.
Okay. And when you said your deceased brother, who is it that is depicted in 426
I
Yankee?
just told you I don't even like to say the deceased name in the courtroom.
Okay, I understand. I need you just for the record to say it one time. And
Matt
we won't-
Miller.
Who?
And that's his last name, Matt Miller.
Is the first name Christian?
Christian Matt Miller.
Was he YSL?
I guess. Yes.
Was he signed as an artist to the label?
No.
Was he murdered?
Why you had to go there, Miss Love? We just said, yes, he was murdered.
How long ago?
I don't forgot actually the time that he was murdered. Y'all, I could take a break.
We're almost finished. We got,
Okay.
what, 3 more photos or so, and then we'll be done for the day.
Yes. Okay. Showing you State's Exhibit 428 Yankee. would you tell the jury who it is that is, first of all, is this a post that you made?
I don't know. They say money too, so I don't know.
Was that you?
I never noticed me having an Instagram now.
Okay.
So I can't.
Are you known by any names other than Antonio Sledge?
I know about a couple of names.
Are you called Toonk?
I'm not the only Toonk.
Are you called Moot Toonk?
Yes, you know that.
And what is it that is stated underneath the photograph of you and Mr. Zachary?
I can't identify. It's not shown.
Can you scroll up and make it bigger?
She probably just can pull it up. Yeah.
All right.
Free little D like right now.
All right. And what's the last word?
Fuck.
And how is it?
Fuck 12.
Who is 12?
The police.
All right.
That's who lock you up, don't
it? Okay. And that's an emoji of a police car and a policeman.
Right.
Right. Showing you states 429. Showing you states 429. What are you doing with your left hand?
I'm wiping my nose.
What do you mean for that to convey?
What do I mean for that?
Yes, what do you mean for that to convey?
I just wipe my nose on certain pictures.
All right. Your Honor, at this time, I believe is a good stopping point. If the court's okay.
You've gotten through all of the photos
The ones that I'm going to
that
publish.
that have been admitted this afternoon. Okay.
Yes, I haven't published all of them, but those are the ones
right.
that I was going to publish.
Okay. We're going to break for the day. Mr. Sledge, we're going to need you back here at 9 a.m. in the morning.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And we'll see all of y'all back at 9 a.m. as well. Same instructions as always. Y'all have a pleasant evening. Okay, is there anything anybody needs to put on the record before we all break for the evening?
Not from the state.
Okay. Thank you.
I don't want to overstep my bounds here, but I would like to inquire how long the state is anticipating.
Well, see how I knew that was not going to be 3 hours. It was going to be all day and we're not finished yet. How much longer do you anticipate?
Judge, it may go into lunch tomorrow. Hold on just 1 second.
Okay. You know, I guess if you assume you have a cooperative witness and then you don't really have a cooperative witness, it takes a lot longer. Or it could just be that lawyers are really bad at estimating time.
My team is admonishing me that it might be longer than lunch. So
Okay.
probably most of tomorrow.
Most of tomorrow is now the estimate.
And Your Honor, they have 100 more witnesses?
Well, no, they've got like 99 more now. I don't know. But yeah, we're going to get
Can
to.
I renew my motion to put
I
the state
mean-
on a clock, Your Honor?
We cannot put the state on a clock. What we can do is make sure that there is not cumulative evidence. She didn't do all of them. So we're, thank you, Ms. Love. I appreciate that. We all appreciate that.
All right, Your Honor.
It's under consideration, and, to the, y'all make the cumulative objection, and I'll take it up at the time, okay? All right. And I do think that when we get to our next non-jury days, I do want us to know that we have all of the, rest of everybody's evidence. After we get through that, I think we want to take a look at what's everybody going to be testifying to and see if there are some people that might be cumulative or might be something, a witness or so that the state feels like maybe they don't actually need, even though it would be nice. So,
like we do have like record custodians that if defense is willing to stipulate to the records, we can eliminate those witnesses. Those are ones that are at the top of my mind, and there are quite a few of them. We have 7.
So there's an idea for y'all to consider. Maybe there's more possibilities besides those 7 records custodians. I feel confident. But yeah, that is definitely something that we need to further consider. All right, anything else? All right. Yes.
Are there any issues with jurors that we need to be made aware of, Your Honor?
No, not that I know of. Are there some that you know of?
I'm not sure. Let me look into it, and I'll get back to you in the morning. Your Honor.
Okay. Does everybody want to come to the bench for a minute? Well, not everybody, but somebody. Okay. I don't know if we'll need it or not. But.
Let me talk to the co-defendants counsel, and if there's something I need to raise, I'll bring it up in the morning, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, if y'all know of a potential issue with the juror,
I'm
then
not going to go up to the court with just a rumor.
Court
at this
might
point.
need to know that too, but okay.
Thank you.
All right. We don't know. He's going to look into it further. Yes, because I'm sure that rumors run rampant. So, okay. We'll all see each other at 8:45.